And we're back. Welcome, Mike Cernovich, to The Right Mindset. We stepped up our game. First episode was last Friday, and we got some breaking news for you. I didn't want to announce it on Twitter. We have breaking news. There has been another arrest. That's right. People thought I was bluffing. You thought I was bluffing? But let me give you a little bit of background for those who don't know. America has an ISIS-like organization called Antifa, and there are terrorists, and they had tried to put acid into the ventilation system of the Deploraball, a party hosted by me and another friend. There were going to be pregnant women there. Their conspiracy was that they had purchased tickets to go into the Deploraball. They were going to put acid in the ventilation system. One of them, who was a firefighter, was going to set off the fire alarms. And then they were going to run all the guests through a bottleneck because at the press club there was only one door. Now some of these people were pregnant women, women of all ages. Literally pregnant women could have had miscarriages because of this terrorist act. And I told them, all right, we're going to get you in prison. We're going to get you sent to prison. People said, Mike, I don't believe you. Well, let's talk. We just got more news. There was another arrest. One guy had been arrested already. We have breaking news. This isn't nowhere can you find this. The Right Mindset exclusive right now. We have another arrest.
Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Mike Cernovich here from The Right Mindset. How you doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. So you're live. We just found out that there had been another arrest involving the terrorist attack or the attempted terrorist attack in the Deploraball. Is that right?
Yes. Earlier today, we got a call from somebody in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., and they notified us that there have been 2 arrests and that they're actively pursuing them.
So we had already known, a week or 2 ago, or during inauguration, one of them, Scott Kuhn or somebody, one of them had been arrested.
Yes, Scott Charney had been arrested. He went by the alias Scott Green.
Okay.
And they had been looking for 2 others, and apparently they found one of them whose name is Paul Kuhn.
Okay.
Paul, K-U-H-N.
So I think that was, maybe his alias might be Luke Kuhn. I remember in the video there was a Luke Kuhn, but maybe his real name was Paul. I'm not really sure. Or maybe this is a different guy.
Exactly. I'm not entirely sure, too. That's what I figured, but I haven't confirmed that.
Gotcha. So right now, do we know anything else, or we just know that there have been 2 arrests?
We know that there have been 2 arrests and that the assistant U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia is actively on this case and pursuing it. So that's what we know.
Okay, great. So Jeff, for those of you who don't know, he actually did most of the work for the Deploraball, but otherwise the Deploraball went great, didn't it?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, the security team did a fantastic job. The police were out front. So by and large, we did our best to contain a very difficult security situation, and obviously took that very seriously. And people were able to come inside, feel safe, and have a great time. So it was a blast. Great.
And are we going to issue a statement about political violence or anything? Because it seems like it's getting a little bit wild out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to take it very seriously, no matter which side of the political spectrum we're on. I don't really think political violence serves anyone. I mean, political violence is terrorism, and these Antifa groups that are using violence and actively shutting down speech, as they've done in Berkeley and elsewhere, I mean, this is terrorism, people. I mean, it's one thing to be a peaceful protester. I think we want to obviously support protesters who use their voice and are peaceful. That's fine. But when people start rioting and use violence in order to shut down other people's speech and, go around punching people with a Trump hat, knocking them out, and doing even worse stuff, and advocating, assassinating people or doing it by any means necessary, shutting down people. I mean, this is a very serious issue and situation, in my opinion.
I agree. All right, well, thanks, Jeff. That was, I didn't want to put you on the spot too much, but I just wanted the people to know that we were breaking news and that there has been an additional arrest. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think the question is, what is the right mindset when it comes to political
I agree. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Okay, thanks.
Told you. So that's his thing. And we haven't even filed a civil lawsuit. We're also planning a lawsuit against Berkeley. So it's let's talk about the right mindset. What does the right mindset mean? I think about this all the time. Why is what we're doing, how is it different from everybody else? Well, here's my question. Type in live I'm watching your comments coming at YouTube. I'm from the Periscope generation, guys. I can take your calls, I can read your comments, and I can read your tweets. So type in the live box. Could you imagine National Review getting people arrested? Could you imagine Glenn Beck getting arrested? They would say, oh, we don't do that. We don't do that. If they throw acid on us, we don't do that. They just take it. They take the violence, right? They take the violence. That isn't how we play. That isn't the way the new right operates. If you attack us, if you try to commit terrorism at our events, if you come after us, then we are going to come after you. So let's just retrack what has happened, retrace it. By the way, thank you to James O'Keefe, a great American hero. All credit to James O'Keefe. Credit where it's due always. So James O'Keefe, in those Project Veritas videos, his undercover journalist, captured these people admitting openly that they were going to commit an acid attack. That's why we call Antifa American ISIS. Who else? Who else throws acid on their political opponents? I'll leave that. Type in your question here. What other organization, if they don't like someone, they throw acid on them? Who else is doing that? Antifa, and if you want to think long and hard, who else is doing that? So Antifa is American ISIS, and they're going to be treated like the terrorists they are. 3 people confessed to the crime. 4 people bought tickets to the Deploraball. We got 2 of them arrested. So those of you watching Antifa, you think you're so tough? I got 2 of you in jail already. 2 of you in jail. And you know what? Jeff Sessions is not even Attorney General yet. Personal friends. Well, I'm not going to say who was at the event. I don't want to brag. You can do your own homework to find out who is at the event. Let's just say that going after pregnant women at our event with Jeff Sessions about to be the Attorney General, not a good idea. Not a good idea. And by the way, I'm a licensed attorney, and we're plotting the lawsuit in D.C. too. So not only are these people in jail, and they're going to potentially face federal investigation, FBI investigation, we're going to meet them in civil court too, civil lawsuit. That is the right mindset. The right mindset is that if you hit us, we're going to hit back, but legally. We don't initiate violence. We believe in the non-aggression principle, the right mindset. The right mindset is the non-aggression principle. Watch your Stefan Molyneux videos. We do not believe in initiating aggression against people. We do not believe it. But we will not suffer aggression and view it as dignified to take abuse. That's why we don't like these National Review kind of people. They think that it is dignified to let them abuse you, that if that's somehow taking some high road to be victimized. That's crazy. That's why we call them, we're keeping it family friendly, but we call them the C word, right? Because that's how they would think. That isn't about the right mindset. So we will not initiate aggression, but if aggression is taken on us, then we will respond back lawfully, and if need be, through the use of legal force, of course. So that's that. Berkeley, the Milo Berkeley event, we're plotting lawsuits there too. Victims, all kinds of people victimized who all they wanted to do was talk to Milo, or watch him talk, listen to his speech. Jake Shields, I'm reading your comments here. Jake Shields, did you read what he did? He had to throw, there were 20 people beating up a guy in a Trump hat. Beating up 20 people. 20 people beating up a guy with a Trump hat. All because he had a Trump hat. Jake Shields, he's not even new right. Jake Shields doesn't agree with me politically. He's more of a centrist or maybe a Dave Rubin, kind of guy. That's great. I welcome people who want to have arguments, not people who don't want to have violence. But he did the right thing. He was called to do the right thing. But there were people, the Berkeley Police Department, the Berkeley administration, the city of Berkeley, they need to be brought into court for their civil rights violations. So we're working on that too. We're working on that too. We got a lot going on. Again, that is why the right mindset. It is all about mindset. You can't let people walk over you. All right? You can't. I'm a nice guy. People don't know I'm a nice guy because they're usually the people I go after aren't such nice people. But we're nice people. But if you come after us, if you attack us, then we are going to go after you. So yes, there have been multiple arrests, and there are going to be more. And it's only misdemeanor now, but we're talking felony charges down the pipeline. And again, Jeff Sessions hasn't even taken over as Attorney General. That will be quite interesting. Breaking news, by the way, in Sweden. Have you all seen my trailer? I don't know if these guys can load it up. Have you seen my trailer yet for Invasion? This is pretty cool. I don't really know how to... We're still getting the green screen set up and the clips. Before long, by this Friday, it's going to be real fancy. By this Friday, we're going to be able to say, I'm actually hiring an intern or a couple interns. And I'm going to say, what are the best, like 5 or 10 video clips or tweets of the day, and then we're going to kind of talk about them. And since I have a green screen, well, it's not green to you. I think it's a Guerrilla Mindset thing, however it looks. We'll load up the clips. We got a great trailer about Sweden, rape culture in Sweden. We got another documentary coming. Pretty fun. But in breaking news, the police chief in Sweden is fire bombings. How many people know about the fire bombings? Not a lot of people. Media cover-up. A lot of people don't realize that in Malmö, Sweden now, you can't even go there without risking your life. We had to send an ex-naval intelligence soldier there. That's what I had to do. Cernovich Media, that's who we sent. We sent a former naval intelligence soldier to Malmö, Sweden. And he had to go in undercover with spies and a local guide. It's very cloak and dagger kind of stuff. Real CIA, this Evan McMuffin stuff, Evan McMuffin, fake. We had to do... If Evan McMuffin were any good, he'd be going... You know, Evan McMuffin's always talking about America on Twitter, big tough guy. Why doesn't he go to the no-go districts in Sweden? Tell the truth about terrorism in Europe and how that terrorism they're trying to bring here to the U.S. You don't see McMuffin doing real journalism. When's the last time McMuffin's done anything dangerous? These guys on Twitter, there's another guy too, I can't remember his name. I don't like him either. But they go on, oh yeah, we're CIA, we're NSA, we're big hotshot spooks. But they don't have anything to say other than basic bro talking points. They're not going doing real journalism. I went to South Africa, right? I went to South Africa. I went to Hungary when there was the height of the refugee crisis. Where are they if they're such tough guys? That's why I always say, if they're such a tough guy, this McMuffin guy, if he's allegedly a former CIA guy, he's a tough guy, why doesn't he go to South Africa then? Why isn't he going to Syria? Why isn't he going to Malmo and these no-go districts? They're all fakes. They're all frauds, by the way. So we got that coming. That's going to be exciting. We're also going to take some calls. Why? Because I like to hear from you. I don't like to just jabber on. Hold on, I forgot my password. We'll get you. We'll get you a phone number. We'll get the conference started. What else is hot? Oh yeah, Daniel Holtzclaw. Man. I don't know if you remember this. I'm reading your comments here in real time, by the way. I know I need a mic, guys. I lost it. Right Side Broadcasting Network sent me a great mic, and then I cleaned my room, and I can't find it. So we're better than we were Friday, and we'll be better Wednesday, and we'll be even better this Friday. But you gotta grow. So I know we need a microphone, and we're fixing all that. And we're also going to be loading up clips and images and tweets and all that. We're working on it. We're working on it. But Daniel Holtzclaw. Do you remember that Oklahoma City Police Department? I'm reading your comments here on YouTube. Remember that Oklahoma City police officer, Daniel Holtzclaw. He was accused of raping something like 15 women, inner city women. And I read it and I thought, man, this guy's guilty as can be. Thought for sure he was guilty. So Michelle Malkin did a huge write-up. She's been very interested in the case. And I read her thing, and he might have been wrongfully convicted, which was unbelievable. So it goes to show. So I shouldn't laugh. I mean, I laugh a lot, not because I lack compassion, but I laugh at the absurdity of it all. This guy, I was sure was guilty. The whole world thought he was guilty. He's being sentenced to prison for 263 years. And it looks like he was wrongfully convicted. We don't know for sure. I'm still doing my homework, but that is another instance of you can't believe anything in the news And I know that too. I've learned it more over the years. You can't believe anything, even a criminal conviction. So what we're going to do right now, because we like to do it, we are going to take a couple calls. Don't type this in the YouTube box, because we got too many calls last time. And then I had to hang up on people. So I will announce it here.
You're the first participant on
I'll announce it here, but
hold while we wait for the others to join.
All right, because you got to realize we're still sort of in the. Should I turn that off? We're still in the beginning phase where I give you a conference call number, and then you call in the conference call, and I'm muting people as they join the call and then taking calls. It's not easy, guys, but we're getting better. That's what matters. The call-in number is 866-438-1487. One more time. 866-438-1487. Call me up. Ask me about mindset, life, books, I don't know, politics, I don't care. Ask me about anything. Just don't ask me about your mom. Okay? Not that. So here we go. All right, we got a caller already. Westchester, New York. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Great job with everything you do, bro.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, RSBN's got to get you something better than this conference line. I mean, you're doing fantastic, but I hope...
Oh, no. Yeah. No, we will. No, right side, RSBN has been great. They sent me all the setup stuff, but they didn't know what kind of show that I wanted, because I'm just kind of a wild man, you know? I'm just sort of like, oh, here's what we're going to do. So, no, this is definitely not... RSBN has been 10 out of 10. They even sent me a microphone, and I thought I'd clean my room, and I lost it. So all blame goes to me.
Well, I can tell you a very good friend of mine is actually going to be preceding your show starting next week. His name is Dino Costa with the Dino Report.
Yeah, Dino. I've seen him on Twitter. Yeah.
So, Mike, have you heard about this nut Maxine Waters, who's all over these networks coming off as completely unhinged, calling for Trump's impeachment? Have you seen this absolute lunatic? Have you seen this woman? She's a congresswoman, apparently.
Is she the one who was saying he invaded Korea or something? I vaguely saw her in the... Okay. Yeah,
right.
she...
So she's calling Trump mentally unstable, and she's saying, we got to do something about this guy. I mean, first of all, it comes across as a threat, truthfully. But secondly, this woman, it comes across like the most mentally unstable freaking nut. I'd love to see you expose this nut. And I'm sure that the reason she wants Trump out is because she's involved in some very nefarious dealings and probably is a little scared about getting found out herself. So I'd love to see you expose this person. I know Haas had an article on her and whatnot, but this woman comes across as the most mentally unstable, and she's calling Trump mentally unstable. These liberals really need to be stopped. They really need to be dealt with. And I hope that they're exposed for a lot of their crimes. I mean, for instance, how did Nancy Pelosi get so rich being a public servant? How did Dianne Feinstein get so rich being a public servant for so many years? I'd like to see a lot of these things come out, and I think that that's part of the opposition to them.
I agree, sir. Thank you for your call.
Thanks.
Frisco, Texas, you're live. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Mike. My name's Jose Altuve. I was calling here from Dallas. My question was regarding WikiLeaks Vault Number 7 talks.
Okay.
And, the FBI says they need two years for 36 emails to analyze 250,000 in 5 days before Comey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's your question?
Regarding the WikiLeaks Vault 7, there's a lot of speculation about it. I was going to see if you had any thoughts.
Oh, gotcha. No, I have no thoughts on that. One thing you'll learn about me is I don't pretend to know things I don't know. So I haven't heard about the WikiLeaks Vault 7 thing yet. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. So who knows? But I'll keep it noted.
And the FBI says they need 2 years for 36 emails, but before the election they have.
Well, it's changed. There was a coup within the FBI, which I had reported on last year. The very top Hillary Clinton people were obstructing investigations, but then there was the people who are patriots who were actually leaking out information to other people. But they have the 33,000 deleted emails from Hillary. They have all that. The question is whether or not they are going to go forward with the prosecution on Hillary for everything she did. My personal opinion, and this is quite unpopular with my audience, I learned, I would like to just forget about Hillary Clinton and move forward on making America great again. And a lot of people are really angry at me for that because, like, well, she needs to be brought to justice and everything. But my hope is that we just get past the evil Clintons. She's out of the game. But again, other people disagree. But the FBI is getting better now with Trump in office. So I don't think it's going to take them 2 years to do 36 emails. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, that's the thing. People get mad. Mike, I can't believe you're going soft on Hillary. Look, life is about focus, is about the way you direct your energy. And Trump has the fake news. Here, let's talk about something else real quick, too. Let's talk about something else, which people don't want to talk about. The psychological operations being run by the fake news media. I had mentioned it earlier, Periscope, and Scott Adams apparently had mentioned it the other day, too. You notice you read a lot of articles about General Flynn about a week or two ago. You got to really keep track of this stuff, and you want to plot them as data points, and then you can watch what the fake news media do. The media wrote up all these articles about General Flynn and Steve Bannon, according to the fake news media, didn't like each other. And there was all this beef and drama between General Flynn and Bannon. And by fake news media, I mean Carlos Slim's blog, the New York Times. So the New York Times kept trying to create drama between Bannon and General Flynn. And it didn't work because everybody, Bannon knows and Flynn knows that Bannon adores Flynn and vice versa. There is no drama there. So now what the fake news Times is trying to do is they go, Trump is Bannon's puppet. Now why are they doing it? Well, they're doing it because Trump is a very proud man. And they want to create drama and make it seem like people think that Bannon has too much power and control over Trump to play on Trump's ego. So they're using fake news to try to manipulate personnel decisions within the White House. But they don't have any sources. Here's what you read these articles by, let me remind you about Glenn Thrush. So Glenn Thrush got a job at the New York Times. Right? Let me remind you about Glenn Thrush. So Glenn Thrush is the guy writing all these articles about the New York Times. Right? Here's what he did. In the John Podesta WikiLeaks email, it was revealed that he would send his articles to John Podesta to get I'm going to copy and paste this. If you're reading the stream and the YouTube, I'll kind of copy and paste it into the chat log so you can read it too. Oops, remove any web addresses and try again. Oh, it won't let me. So you can't type in links. But anyway, I'll type in the story. And Glenn Thrush would get his articles pre-approved by John Podesta. And he even said one email, I'm such a hack that I'm going to even send you the article before it appears. And the reason you do that is, think about it, crisis management. Wouldn't it be great if you knew, if you were somebody like Podesta or Hillary Clinton, if you knew a day in advance all the hit pieces that were going to be on you, because then right when the hit pieces landed, you could go, you already have a response. You're not waiting for them like everybody else. So that's what he would do, is that even when he would criticize them, which he never did, but even when he would criticize them, he would let them know a day or two in advance, hey, I'm about to criticize you. Make sure you have a good reply to this before it comes out. And then the article appears, and then right away they're already scheduled on these news shows to talk about the stories because they all conspired. That's why even when an article appears to be critical of Hillary Clinton, it actually isn't. Because they've told her in advance what was going to be covered and given her advance notice on how to respond to the stories. So anyway, this Glenn Thrush guy, who is a hack, and he's a John Podesta puppet, he's now at Carlos Slim's blog, the New York Times, writing all these stories, trying to create drama about General Flynn, Steve Bannon, and Trump. But they don't have any sources. I'm not going to say what I have, but they don't have, if you're at the Washington Post, the New York Times, the CNN, they do not have any sources in the White House. Fact, they don't have any. The people there hate them. So all these, that's why they always rely on anonymous sources. They never actually say, this guy who works there said that. They always go, well, after interviewing more than 20 sources, who are the sources? They never tell you because they don't have them. So you can't believe any of that. It's all fake news. But generally speaking, the big picture is The media has not had a scalp. The media has not had a scalp. And how long? They went after Lewandowski. That was almost a year ago. So we're coming in almost a year ago after the Corey Lewandowski, Michelle Fields hoax. And they tried to get Corey Lewandowski fired. So the media, if they can't get you fired, they don't have any power. The media's only power is in public shaming. So they're trying to get a scalp. They want to get Bannon out of the White House. They want to get Stephen Miller out. They want to get General Flynn out, because those are the three biggest people who are connected to the base. Right? So Reince Priebus. So type this in the comments. Does Reince Priebus, I don't even know how to say his name, Trump's chief of staff, he was the GOP chair. Does Reince Priebus represent the base? If you're a Trump supporter, go ahead and type your comment here. If you're a Trump supporter, if you're especially a new Trump supporter, do you give a darn, golly darn, about Reince Priebus? I sure don't. He doesn't speak for me. He doesn't speak for the base. Reince Priebus is a globalist puppet. That's why the GOP wanted him in there. Steve Bannon's the populist. Steve Bannon is the one who actually cares about common Americans. Stephen Miller cares about common Americans, regular Americans like us. General Flynn cares about regular Americans like us. Reince Priebus is another globalist. So to the New York Times, they're not going after Reince Priebus, right? Go ahead and type your little comments so I can read them. Why don't you see any articles attacking Reince Priebus? They're all going after Bannon and General Flynn and Stephen Miller, but they're not going after Reince Priebus. Why? Because he is another globalist. He doesn't speak for the base. The people who speak for the base and who are the voice of the millions of people who have been forgotten in America, they're Bannon. That's why the fake Times is going after Bannon and not Reince Priebus. So you're going to see more of these types of articles. But something to keep in mind, just watch. Because what I do, which is different than the pundits, I don't tell you what happened and try to explain it. I don't say, oh yeah, this happened and blah, 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 and give you a bunch of after-the-fact rationalizations. I go in advance. You will see more hit pieces on X, Y, and Z. I tell you the future that's going to happen. Well, how do I tell you? Well, it isn't that I have a magic crystal ball that gives me a unique insight. It's just that I understand who is on what side. Reince Priebus is on the side of the globalists in the New York Times. Steve Bannon is on the side of Breitbart and the American people. So the Times isn't going to go after Reince Priebus. They're going to keep going after Bannon and anybody who has a message of nationalism and populism. So I can tell you that. Prediction. You don't need a crystal ball. You just need to understand the game and understand how dirty the game is and understand how vile and evil people are going against. All right, let's take another call. San Antonio, California, how you doing? Or San Antonio, Texas, how you doing?
Oh man, hey, what's up? I just wanted to say, long story short, we need to stop using the less vocabulary as far as the right mindset goes. I love the title of the show, but yeah, we need to start calling it a terror band, because it is a terror band. It's not about the people's faith. More than anything, I feel like it's a terror band, and we should just call it what it is.
I agree. So, great. I'm going to put you back on mute, sir, but that's a great point. He makes a great point, which is that you don't want to use the language of your enemies. There's a reason that the left is fighting so hard to call illegal immigrants undocumented immigrants. There's a reason for that. If you call them illegal, then immediately you think, well, if it's an illegal immigrant, then we should deport them or maybe we should do something about it. But if you call them undocumented, it doesn't arouse those same kinds of feelings. Same thing with the Muslim ban. I don't want to ban Muslims. I happen to get along quite well with Muslims, right? Most people in America are tolerant people. So if you call something a Muslim ban, we're thinking, well, maybe you don't want to get in their frame. So you don't want to call it a Muslim ban. You want to call it a terror ban. Thank you for your call, sir. Colorado Springs, how you doing?
Hey, good, Mike. How are you?
Doing great, man. Great night.
All right. Hey, my question is in regards to Antifa.
Yeah, we call them American ISIS. Antifa is American ISIS.
American ISIS. Good to go right there. So, my question is, do you think that this will ever be considered or labeled a terrorist organization?
Well, okay, so his question, we're going to have a soundboard too, just so you know. We got a lot of things planned. Start small. Remember, the right mindset is about think big, but start small. Because in life, too many people think, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have that, I can't get started. Well, I don't have a soundboard yet, I need a better microphone, I need a dedicated call-in line, I need a sound call screener, I need video things and clips loaded and Twitter's loaded, and you can't think like that. You can't think about what you don't have in life. You got to think about what do you have and what can you do. So think big, start small today. So his question is, will Antifa, which we call American ISIS, will they be declared a terrorist organization? Well, my question to you, sir, how do you think Jeff Sessions would answer that question?
I think the answer yes.
I think so too. So there's your answer. We have to keep we have to keep getting these people arrested. We have to keep going after them legally. We have to keep filing lawsuits, hitting them hard, making it happen. For sure. And
for sure we need to stand up to them. No doubt about that.
Exactly. So we're going to get Antifa, which is American ISIS, categorized as a terrorist organization. So remember, we call them, whenever you call them Antifa, they are Antifa/American ISIS. All right, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Newmarket, Ontario. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Doing really well. How are you?
Doing great. Good night. Good people.
Awesome. Listen, I live in Canada. I'm a filmmaker. I was born in South Africa, actually. I left there when I was 5. I've just been really encouraged when I saw you raise awareness about the situation in South Africa right now with the white genocide that's going on there. I actually just made a video, just like a 3-minute video, just to help raise awareness more. Something that's really easy to share and that can go viral. I was just wondering, do you think that President Trump would maybe consider sanctions against South Africa, over this issue?
Great question. So in South Africa, the fake news media isn't going to report this, obviously. In South Africa, there is massive amounts of hate crimes occurring, but because they're occurring against white farmers and white farm owners, the media won't touch it. In fact, they even tried. George Soros, did you know this? Type this in the comments here over here on the right. Did you know that George Soros is funding groups in South Africa? That guy is funding terrorism like everywhere you go. So when I posted on Twitter that I was going to bring the attention about the slaughter of white farmers to the attention of Trump, they were trying to get me banned from Twitter, actually, and I've been banned from actually traveling to South Africa. There's an organization down there called, I can't remember what they're called, but there's actually a Soros-funded organization, and I've been banned now. I've been to South Africa. I've been banned from going to South Africa because if you even talk about the hate crimes that is happening to farmers in South Africa, then you're automatically a bad person, an evil person, because hate crimes can never happen to white people, right? That's the way it goes. That's the answer. But Trump needs to do something about it and say something about it. He's got a full plate. But I would like to hear it. So if anybody in America at any point in history would try to help the farmers in South Africa, it'd be Trump. But who knows? We got a lot to do here. Thank you for your call.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. I sent that video to your inbox.
Thanks.
On Twitter. If you want to take a look at it and maybe retweet it, that'd be awesome.
Thanks. Have a good night. Yeah, I remember when I tweeted about the genocide against farmers in South Africa, I was attacked. Well, attacked. I mean, it's the internet, right? Some guy, who is it, Jim? Let me find. This is another. Again, in the future, we'll be just flashing tweets up here as we talk. We'll have show notes and everything. Jim Acosta. I don't even know how to say these people's names. So Jim Acosta goes, in the first 2 weeks as president, Mr. Trump has now assaulted the press corps at 2 critical national security sites, CIA and U.S. Central Command. This guy, Jim Acosta, is senior White House correspondent. I'll retweet to the top of my timeline. This guy's making like $400,000 a year. Has he, most of us here are either working class or we grew up as working class people. Because I sure grew up as working class. Has he ever waited tables? Man, if you think being a journalist is a hard job, then I would encourage you to get a job at the Olive Garden and work a lunch rush and then rush to your car and eat like 4 breadsticks and whatever crap, you can get out of the kitchen in 20 minutes. And then you go hit the dinner pop. And then you do your side work. It's called side work after your shift, where you're scrubbing down the floors and stainless steel and everything else, right? You go work 11 hours at the Olive Garden. And you tell me, oh no, Trump has assaulted me. Jim Acosta, CNN. That's how these people are. They're all trust fund kids. They've never actually had a real job in their life. If you've ever waited tables or done customer service for one shift, you would beg to be a journalist. This guy's at CNN making $400,000 a year, travels everywhere, great life. Oh, Trump is mean to you. Poor baby. That's why we hate these people. I really do dislike them. I always teach the right mindset is never about hate. I don't actually hate them. But I think they're bad people. And they are bad people. So yeah, they need to go get a job, go wait tables. Carry 4 or 5 entrees on a large tray, balancing it, shifting around from people, hoping the food doesn't fall down. Right? Go do that for 11 hours, and then you can come talk to me about how tough it is being a journalist. My job as a journalist, easiest job. It doesn't pay as well as maybe other things, but this is a dream job, people. It's a dream job. Waiting tables is hard. Standing on your feet all day, being a cashier is hard. Being a journalist, oh, people are mean to you. Oh, in the real world, people are mean. Guess what? Deal with it. All right, we got South Carolina. How you doing? Blufftown, South Carolina. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yep. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. Hey, I want to talk about long-term strategy for our movement. I hate talking identity politics. I always think it's better to just ideas versus ideas, but the left's entire platform now is identity politics. So I think we need to at least look at it. What demographics do you think we can target to advance our movement? Because if you look at the changing demographics, whites are going to be less percent. We're not going to be 2/3 majority anymore in 30, 40, 50 years. My thinking was always go after the Asians, Jews, Caribbean blacks, working class white gays. And again, I hate talking identity politics, but I think we need to, just based on where the left
no, there's nothing. You can't. This is the weird thing about America's. The media says you can't talk about identity politics. But if you read the WikiLeaks email, the entire emails from the Democrats were saying, how can we increase our taco bowl engagement? Right? So the entire WikiLeaks, everything with the Democrats is they call Mexicans taco bowls. Well, how can we get more taco bowls to vote? That should have been outrage, by the way, but they tried to say they weren't talking about Mexicans, but a lot of smart Latinos figure that out. So the left is all about identity politics, and everybody who wants to win any kind of elections is about identity politics. Cubans, for example, tended to vote more GOP-friendly than other Latino groups. Vietnamese actually were voted GOP, and we lost them somehow. So we need to figure out how to lose the Vietnamese vote, what is happening. No, there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong with talking about how can you get different identity groups to vote for you. The issue that happens is when your whole platform is identity politics, which is what is happening with the left, then you're on a losing strategy. So the left, they went all in on identity politics, but then they didn't care about any of the working class voters. And what Trump did was he targeted the working class people in all of America, including in many states, they were Rust Belt states, and they happened to be white also. So yeah, we definitely need to think in terms of how can we get engagement. I actually think we can get a lot more Latino votes, and that's one thing that MAGA 3X, which is a grassroots organization I co-founded, we've actually talked to a lot of Latinos, and they're more entrepreneurial minded, a lot of them are. But the Republicans aren't spending enough. There's too much pandering. So the issue is that when you play identity politics, you don't want to pander to people. You actually want to try to meet people where they are. And we have a lot of plans for that. So I agree with you, and I'm actually working on that for 2018 because demographics are changing, voting patterns are changing. Anybody who isn't paying attention to that doesn't want to win elections. Thanks for your call.
No problem.
Yeah, identity politics is tricky because you have to be realistic, but if you go all in, like the Democrats did, then you have what are called purity spirals. And you can see this even with some of these kind of alternative movements to the right, alternative right type organizations where they want to have purity argument. Well, who is the most pure, most hardcore guy? And who can be the most outrageous guy? And that kind of happened with the left. They made Lena Dunham, this is the dumbest thing that happened last year. They made Lena Dunham, they gave her Hillary Clinton's social media. Now, Lena Dunham is an admitted pedophile. She would molest her sister. She would put marble. Well, it's family friendly. You can read it for yourself. But Lena Dunham molested her younger sister, admitted to being a pedophile. She falsely accused a man of rape and only retracted the statement once the man was actually going to sue. She's bottom of the barrel. But because Hillary Clinton's people went all in with identity politics and gender politics, they thought it was a good idea to give her the social media. Well, it was dumb. So you want to go on identity politics, and that's why there's the new center, we call it. I'm at the very far right, the borderlands of respectability. I am respectable now. Like it or not, the people who like me like it, the haters get angry. But there's this big, huge new center now. And I'm at the far end of the right, but I'm a respectable guy now. I threw a Deploraball. People who are known came to my party. That's how you define if you're respectable or not. Social construct. Remember that overhead window is social construct. We'll talk more in detail. I'm throwing around a lot of concepts maybe you don't know. So we'll go deeper. Maybe we'll have like a lecture. I don't want to lecture you, guys and girls, is the thing. But the overhead window shifted such that I am now respectable right wing. But I'm the far right. But I'm still respectable. And then you have the left, which are more kind of sane liberals like the Sam Harris types. So I don't like Sam Harris. I don't consider him an ally. I don't want to be his friend. I don't want to be his buddy. We're not cool with each other. I don't like him. I don't hate him either, but he is the far left now. And then on the other end of my right are people who are just loonies. They go 1488 and they have the little Hitler avatars and everything. And then on the far left are the people who say all white people need to die, call for a white genocide. And then there's this massive new center. It's kind of cool. Change is happening. Very, very exciting time to be alive. Boca Raton, Florida, represent.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing? We hear you.
Hey, sorry, I'm at the gym right now, so I wanted to speak briefly on when is Attorney General Jeff Sessions going to be confirmed? Because I hear your point on Hillary Clinton, and I agree with you because I think that George Soros is probably, in my opinion, of the utmost importance on pursuing charges. So,
okay, you're cutting out.
Take on that.
You're cutting out, but did you mention George Soros and Jeff Sessions? Did I get that out of the conversation?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for your call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so his call is, will we ever go after George Soros? I sure hope so. You got to remember now, we have a conduit to the White House that we never had. So we have a wish list, right? George Soros, I think, is at the top of our wish list. Well, I don't think. He's at the top of mine. Would you say he's at the top of yours? If you had a Christmas list, would George Soros in prison be pretty high up on that list?
Yeah, number one.
Right, I'd rather they go after George Soros than Hillary Clinton. That's why I'd rather who cares about Hillary Clinton? She is a puppet to Soros. So yeah, I hope Sessions goes after her. Will he or won't he? I don't know, but there's a chance. And there was a 0% chance under Obama. There was a 0% chance under Hillary. Now we have a chance under Sessions. I'm hyped. Are you hyped?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for your call. Good calls. Good calls all over the country. We even got Canada calling. Hollywood, Florida. How you doing?
Hey, good. How's it going, Mike?
It's a great night, man.
Awesome. Listen, your thoughts on Pizzagate. There was some recent news, I don't know if it's fake news, but it's saying over 70 Pizzagate pedophile arrests coming, says FBI insider.
Yeah, I'm suspicious of those anonymous reports because they've surfaced. One thing that I saw was interesting. The Department of Homeland Security filmed a public service announcement about human trafficking, and they filmed it outside of a pizza parlor. Did you see that?
I saw that.
That was weird.
Freaky.
That was weird. Yeah. So those of you at home who don't know, this is the kind of video clip that we would load up once we have it. Once I'm organized. The RSBN guys went great. I'm organizing myself. So there was a Department of Homeland Security did a video where they said, take a second look. And the theme of the video was take a second look. You might be looking at a sex trafficking victim. And the first scene was outside of a pizza parlor, right?
Right. Comet ping pong.
So I don't know if that was a coincidence, if that was a wink from the Department of Homeland Security. I don't really know what it was, but I certainly found that interesting. Thanks for your call.
But real quick, didn't that James O'Keefe video, the undercover, was inside Comet Ping Pong?
Yeah, the terrorists met inside Comet Pizza. So a lot of weird... Well, that's what I mean. A lot of creepy people go there. I don't think that there were ever children. My whole thing on Pizzagate is I don't think there were ever children locked up in Comet Pizza. And that is where the story kind of went out of control, is that the rumor got too controlled. But a lot of creepy people did go there, and I imagined that they discussed a lot of creepy things. But I don't ever want one guy to become the target unless there's really strong evidence. So that's always been my take. There is an active pedophile ring in D.C. There's an active pedophile ring in Hollywood.
What happened to Ben Swan? You saw what he did.
So yeah, we definitely, it's worth watching. Thanks for your call, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, it was weird. The Department of Homeland Security video right out front of a pizza parlor was a little bit weird. All right, we got time for one more call. We got to go a little bit early tonight because I got all the videos set up. So we're going to take one more call. Waterbury, Connecticut, how you doing?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Okay, I'd just like to address the issue of how we sort of won the election with social media and how the left has responded in kind by pumping tons of money and effort into their social media presence recently, and then marrying that with their mainstream media messaging. And it's really obvious now. You can see the responses that come immediately to anything that President Trump tweets. The top tweets always have some kind of memes that are pushing what the mainstream media is trying to push in a very offensive, really mimetic way. And it's real obvious. And
Twitter's rigged the algorithm.
They've been really active on social media.
Well, no, what has happened is that the tech companies have rigged the algorithm. So here's what he's referencing. If Donald Trump tweets and I click over to read a Trump tweet, the way Twitter's algorithm is supposed to work is that I will see the replies of people I follow, right? Or people that I know or people in my network. That is the way it's supposed to work. But when me, far-right Mike Cernovich, clicks on a Trump tweet, all I see are hate tweets. And there's even one person, I call her like the Klinger girlfriend, Betty or something. I don't want to say her name. But there's one girl, I don't know how she does it, but she replies to him all the time. And her tweets are almost always at the very top. So what is happening is that the social media companies are trying to rig the media. And in fact, France has actually cracked down on Facebook. So they're going, well, we need to take on fake news, and because of that, we articles about Le Pen are being censored because nationalism is on the rise in France as well as Germany and as well as the U.S. So because they couldn't beat us on Facebook, they're now trying to ban us. So what you're seeing right now is a conspiracy between the social media companies and the DNC and other globalist plots. Thanks for your call. Okay. Did I hear him? Did you lose him? Thank you for your call, Mr. Waterbury.
No, I'm good. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, the only other point I want to make is that we had a really strong presence social media-wise ourselves, and I don't think they were prepared for that. And then after they saw the impact we had, I think they pulled back for a bit, as you noticed the drop in those bots when they were attacking you sort of on Periscope. And then suddenly you've seen a resurgence of them in full force, almost tenfold now, because they realized where they had a weak point, and then they pumped a bunch of money into it.
Yep, you're exactly right. Thanks for your call.
All right, take care.
Yes, the social media is under attack. The media wants to censor social media. Why? Well, because did you see PJW? Paul Joseph Watson is the new king of Twitter. I was the king of Twitter. I was the king of Twitter. There is a new king. Paul Joseph Watson did 222 million impressions over the past 28 days. 200, that's not a typo. 222. So all credit to PJW. That's why they hate. That's why they hate us, and that's why the fake news media wants to ban us. How many people are doing 150 million a month like me? How many people are doing 200 to 250 million like Paul Joseph Watson? Stephen Molyneux's YouTube channel is crazy numbers, right? How many people are doing these kind of numbers that we're doing? Jim Hoff was doing, the Gateway Pundit was doing crazy numbers. They can't beat us in a fair fight. So they're always trying to rig it. But hey, we're smart guys too. So thank you for watching the show. We're going to cut it early, 5 minutes early, because my hardworking producer is 3 hours ahead of me. It's almost 11 p.m. where he's at. So again, the show is better. We have a green screen now. We have graphics. We have a little bit of music. We'll have better microphones next time. We'll have a dedicated call line. We're going to get better every time. So if I'm not getting, well, we can't get better every time for the full year. If this episode on Friday, because we have one coming on Wednesday and then one on Friday, 7 p.m., mark your calendar. If the episode we have this Friday is not significantly better than the one on last Friday, I want you to tell me. And I won't consider it hatred. If you go, you know what, Mike? It should be a lot better than it is now, then I want to hear it. I don't mind criticism. Mindless hate, I don't have time for. Criticism, we always welcome it. Why? Because I waited tables. You didn't hear me? I used to work at the Olive Garden. You're not going to say anything meaner to me than a customer. The customer has inside of me. So thanks for tuning in. Mike Cernovich, The Right Mindset. And you can listen to my audiobook, Guerrilla Mindset. Or Mindset Branding, Guerrilla Mindset 2. And you can read my book on Trump, MAGA Mindset, Making You and America Great Again. Find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Amazon's the best thing. Thanks for tuning in. I'm now going to turn it off.